them back. Other places your hat's gone forever. I'll be more than delighted to sell you a brand new one back at the gift shop, says Jerry's Jets on it. Looks just like the one on my head. One rule on board about those hats, though, and that is, if I recover your hat out of the water, you are required by maritime law to put it back on and let everybody on the boat laugh at you and take your picture when you do it. All right, here we go. Well, that bridge that was in front of us is now behind us, soon to be back in front of us. There's the Patterson Memorial Bridge, named after Oregon's 18th governor. It's 1,932 feet long, and which by coincidence is also the year of its completion, 1932. It is the only bridge of this design on the continent. In fact, there's only one other like it in the world. And that bridge is in France. Here in the spring to have their young, return in the fall to Central America, Mexico. They mate for life and return to the same nest year after year. Should see a lot of ospreys on our trip today. Now if we get lucky, perhaps we may even see one dive down and grab a fish, although I rarely have the opportunity to point it out. It just happens a little quickly. It's really, really hard to tell the male from the female until you get them sitting together like this. And when they sit together like this, you can tell one from the other. The male, he's the one that's looking down, and the female's the one that has a large rock. It's called Massacre Rock. It gets its name because soldiers and settlers laid an ambush on top of it and shot and killed 2 canoes full of Indians as they passed underneath. Now, it was in retribution for an attack made upon Ellensburg, but they killed the wrong Indians, and in fact killed some that were friendly with the settlers and often traded with them. Now, the Lobster Creek Bridge before us marks the beginning of the wild and scenic portion of the Rogue River underneath the 1968 Wild and Scenic Rivers Act. The Rogue River was one of the original 8 rivers listed. Under this listing, 3 designations: wild, scenic, and recreational. We're now going into the recreational portion. 10 miles upstream we'll enter to the scenic. And then 8 miles above Agnes, or a total of 40 miles up, we'll go into the wild, where we continue on 12 more miles before we turn around at the bottom of Blossom Bar Rapids. Now, each one of these points becomes a bit more restrictive as to the amount of access and development that's allowed along the roads, banks, and waterways. If you look to your right, we're up high. You can see a good example of an osprey nest. You probably already spotted a few of these, and if you keep looking up in the trees, you'll see a whole bunch more of them. All osprey nests, except for 3 that I know of that are bald eagle nests, look just like that. Now, an osprey will work on his nest throughout his lifetime, so it just gets bigger and bigger. And frequently, when a pair of ospreys dies out to old age, one of the juveniles raised in the nest will take it over and the cycle will continue. Kind of remarkable in the fact that they'll withstand a pretty good wind. It's not uncommon to get winds in the 70, even 80 mile per hour range here during our winter storms. And I'm not saying that occasionally a tree doesn't fall over and nest blows ahead of the life jacket compartment in front of you. Push back with your legs and lean back into the seat. Brace yourself up. Now, like I said, I'll warn you on the first couple, and if you're doing good with them, you'll be on your own after that. We'll make them a little faster and a little further as the day goes on. Unless, of course, people start sliding around, we have to slow them down. What do you think? Everybody like the spin? Anybody not like the spin? For those of you who don't like the spin out, you'll probably just want to jump overboard, swim to the bank, we'll pick you up on the way back. go. Brace yourself up. Nice. You guys are on your own from here on up. If I start sliding sideways like I'm going to spin the boat, brace yourself up. Oh, this riffle's called Shasta Costa. Named that after the Shasta Costa Indians that lived in this area. We're going to go up the right-hand side, take a hard left turn, enter into a narrow bedrock channel, take a hard right turn, and continue upstream. Now from here on up, there's a lot more hard rock, and by hard rock, I mean ledge rock and boulders, less gravel, tighter clearances, and all these riffles. Thus, the Coast Guard deems it necessary for you to wear the life jackets. Well, the bridge before us is called the Coon Rock Bridge. It's one of the bridges that survived the 1964 flood, although water went over the roadway, leaving logs and debris stacked up on the railing. That's where Forest Service Road number 33 crosses from the south, goes up the north-hand side 4 more miles to Foster Bar. At that point, you can no longer access the Road River by public road to get 40 miles upstream to Graves Creek, other end of the wild section. I just saw a mink. I think he ran off up into the brush. He was straight in front of us right here somewhere. This next riffle is called 2 Mile. It'll be the first of many Class 3 riffles that we will be going through today. And this river's Old Diggins. It was named that by the early miners in the area. Notice that the sedimentary rock on our left-hand side was tipped up on edge, creating sort of a natural sluice box. So they got the idea to dam up the river and then mine out the gold. Well, after 2 months of hard work, they did just that. They dammed it up, diverted the flow over to the north-hand side of the canyon. They got started mining, only got 2 days in. The river rose and it wiped out their entire project. They never tried again after that. This is Watson Creek, Watson Pool, beginning of the wild section, turnaround point for our 80-mile trip. Now from here on up, all access is highly regulated. All commercial as well as private need permits to go beyond this point. And yes, we have 6 permits a day. That's the 104-mile trip like the one you're on. If you wish to raft the Rogue River privately, you can obtain a permit online through the BLM. It's a lottery or a draw. You put in for the date you would like to start. Some dates are easy to get, others aren't on the busier weekends. If you want a powerboat above here, once again you can obtain a permit, this time through the United States Forest Service. They issue those at Cougar Lane Lodge, or excuse me, it's Foster Bar now. First come, first serve. You get 1 trip in, 1 trip out, and there's a total of 8 permits per day. here in the wild section, we try to give the drift traffic a wake-free pass. And we can do this one of two ways. We know how to buy really slow, thus reducing the wake, or we go by really fast and throw it to the other side. Now, it's not always possible. We do what we can for them when we can for them. Now, this is a courtesy or an etiquette that we extend. It's not rule or law. For every picture taken of it since then, I would be a rich man. And you can see where that taproot goes down the side of the rock there. One time there was another half to this rock, and it grew down through a crack until it found the soil and water. At some point, floods came along, knocked that half of the rock off and left the tree. I've heard a few people say it was a 64 flood that did it, and they're wrong. Not that I was here in 64, but I know a few people who were, and they said it's always looked like that. couldn't figure out why. As the beginning of Clay Hill Rapids, one of our more technical runs, we're going to go up through a long riffle bust up over falls and take a hard right. Now, if you look over here on your left, you can see Clay Hill Lodge. Clay Hill Lodge is rafting, hiking, and powerboating. No roads in this area. Now, from here on up, you may start to notice the bear fences like the one on our left just coming into view. It's just T-posts with electric fence wire on it. They put these up for the rafters and trail hikers to put the food in, keep the bears out, make a yogi go out in the woods and earn an honest living. If you ever trail hike or raft the road, you really need to try and use these things. There's some way to ensure the bears stay out of your food. Because once they start busting in the ice chest, there's no change in their minds after that. They become addicted to human food and they will not leave it alone. And the fed bear, he eventually becomes a dead bear. They're almost always killed in the end for it. That funny looking pine tree has a name as well. They call it the dinosaur tree. I always thought they should have named it giraffe tree.
Sneak attack! I'm hoping it's his plan.
No! Arm yourselves.
All right!
He said, "Not me, okay?" No.
Here's one for the front. Coming up. Get him. Coming up.
There you go, 2 more. Some of them are a little broken down.
One. Here's one for that young man right there. Get him! Load him!
Alright, get ready on the right side.
Right side.
Hand them over to the right side.
Get him, Andrew.
You loaded already, Bob?
Ready to go.
Over here. Load your. Oh, Johnny's got one too.
A little water in your boat this time.
Load your
That's
guns. Start now, man. Start.
The suspenders!
I was trying.
Alright.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. I was trying.
Okay, here's the rules, guys. Now that I've got out the guns.
I got
Number one rule is don't shoot me. I need to be able to see where I'm going. I already got my sunglasses right on that last one. Don't shoot the grumpy rafters that don't want to play, please. Just the ones that shoot at us with squirt guns. And just hang on to them until we need them.
You said warm yourself.
If you look downstream, left-hand side, pretty much straight in front of us now, you can see some stairs cut into the rocks.
Oh,
And then up higher and more left from the stairs, you can see an old fireplace on a flat up there. That belonged to what they called the old general's cabin. In the 50s and early 60s, there were 4 prominent generals used to come in here on fishing trips. They'd fly them in with a bush plane, land them on the gravel bar downstream on his left-hand side, get a couple of guides either out of the Gold Beach or Agnes area to come up and fish it. The most famous and prominent of the 4 was General Curtis LeMay, Army Air Corps, World War II, head of the Pacific Theater. He's the one that orchestrated the bombing of Japan Now later on in his career, they called him the father of Strategic Air Command. The whole time he was in here when he was still active, they would fly overhead 24 hours a day with a bomber, a large radio, and keep him radio contact with the outside world, just in case World War III kicked off back in the early days of the Cold War before we had satellite communications. And this is Huggins Canyon, named that after Andy Huggins, early day pioneer prospector. Andy had a cabin up around the corner here at Half Moon Bar. I call this the Sturgeon Hole. This is the deepest part of the river we'll be going through today. It's about 70 feet deep right here. The deepest spot in the river is up at Hell's Gate Canyon. On an occasional year there, the river will scour its bottom out to 100 feet deep. I didn't stand up yet. Did it run?
Yeah.
Where did it run to? Up over the top?
Oh, is it where?
On the rocks, like where it separates, right there. Yeah, you bud. And out in front of us is Devil's Staircase, or excuse me, Blossom Bar. Our turnaround point. Now from here on up, engines are prohibited May 1 to November 15th, and while it's been done many times by power boats, you're not allowed to do it this time of year. Somebody always wants to know, hey, can you get this one through there? No, I can't. Not enough water, but it's in the winter months. River was high, get it through there. Go all the way to Grants Pass and beyond. This one accounts for about 90% of the raft wrecks on the Rogue River. If you look straight ahead on the river's right-hand side, you can see almost a clear path with one rock water flowing over the top of it. That's the picket fence. You don't want to go that way. It's just a couple of poles on the oars. At the very top, you go from our right to left underneath the big boulders at the top, and then pick your way down through the rocks. Now, if you miss it, very seldom to turn out nice. Most of the time, flips the boat over on its side, pins it up against a rock, spills everything out. You spend the rest of the day trying to round up your stuff and dig your boat out. Now, there's a couple rocks that are notorious for holding people under with their life jackets on at the lower flows. So, you want to scout this one out. You'll see people all the time up on the left side watching the rafts go through, picking their line. And if you have somebody in your party that's knowledgeable and has done it a bunch of times, park your raft up on top, jump in with them, right down with them, see how they do it, then walk back up and bring your boat down. Alright, we're headed back down. Things will be bouncer. Things will be wetter.
I'm at Paradise Lodge.
Don't shoot that guy.
Not fair!
Here, Bob. Here, Kurt.
Yeah, do the rain They're all.
Peace.